Our second top 10 is about the top 10 most popular airliner companies in the UK. Number 10 is the worst airliner in the UK, which is Wizz Air. You may have heard of the Hungarian character. What am I saying? You may have heard of the Hungarian carrier Wizz Air already, but Wizz Air UK is a somewhat separate entity operating out of the UK and is headquartered at London's Luton Airport. Unfortunately though, this low-cost airline scores the worst overall of the bunch. As you'd expect, most of Wizz's scores are low, but the carrier is the worst for comfort and rest and customer reputation. And once you're at the bottom of the two major companies, it's very hard to bounce back. Basically, check out all the other airlines on our list before you resort to using Wizz UK. Based on our extensive research, you'll likely thank us due to its very low score of 30 points overall. Number 9. Eastern Airways. Eastern Airways is another small regional airliner based in North Lincolnshire. Despite being small, passengers can fly to top destinations in the UK and even as far as Paris Airport. Although it may not be among the best airliners on our overall list, Eastern Airways scores well in the categories of comfort and price, two factors that are typically very important to travellers. Eastern Airways also offers charter flights in addition to regular domestic and international routes. There we are. They may have just the flight configuration that you need, so don't let their score of 40 points overall throw you too much. Number 8. Origny Air Services. Another carrier operating out of the Channel Islands and more specifically Guernsey, Origny Air Services is number 8 on our list. The airliner scores about where you'd expect in most categories, at 42 points overall, except for customer reputation. Based on the customer reviews, this company scores about above average and earns the number 4 spot on this category. Number 7. Blue Islands. Although the regional airliner of Blue Islands doesn't get anywhere near the number of passengers of giants like EasyJet and British Airways, it is an important travel option for anyone navigating the UK's Channel Islands. The airliner links these islands with the rest of the UK and Europe. Blue Island's overall position of number 7 doesn't necessarily mean it does everything below average. In fact, for reliability, price and lounges, this carrier scores fairly well. And if you need to reach the scenic islands of Guernsey or Jersey, Blue Islands is often a good choice, with a decent total score of 45 points overall. Number 6. Logan Air. Logan Air is affectionately known as Scotland's airliner and is the UK's largest regional airliner, both by fleet size and passenger volume. Logan Air scores well for price, it's number 3, and is right in the middle of the pack for the important categories of comfort and reliability. Overall, Logan Air earned a total of 50 points overall, quite respectable for an airliner of its size. This regional carrier still manages to fly to over 40 different destinations, stretching from Norway to Germany to Ireland, plus many destinations throughout the UK. If your chosen destination matches up with Logan Air's routes, you can do a lot worse than this Scottish favourite. Now that we've been through the top 5 airlines, now let's go to the top 5. Number 5. EasyJet. If we're strictly speaking about passenger volume, EasyJet is the UK's largest airliner company, just nudging out British Airways with the 33 million travellers the airliner carried in 2022. On our Air Advisor top UK airline list, EasyJet doesn't fare too well or too poorly. They are right in the middle, Goldilocks style, with a score of 57 points overall. EasyJet's strengths are its reliability, second best, price, also second best, and comfort scores, all key components to enjoying the next flight. Where it lacks mostly in the customer reputation and both pet and family travel categories. Number 4, TUI Airways. As the 4th best UK airliner, TUI Airways does a lot of things right. The airliner is great for comfort, customer reputation and family travel, and airline lounges, earning it an overall score of 59 points. But it does fall short in one of the important categories, reliability. In fact, we had no choice but to assign TUI Airways the title of the worst UK airliner from on-time flight percentages and cancellations, as they do not publish their data. Not exactly what you look for in an airline. TUI is also quite expensive to fly, and is the priciest after Jet2. TUI Airways is the largest charter airliner in the world and routinely flies up to 12 million annual passengers. TUI flies to all your favourite vacation destinations like North America, Europe, Asia and Africa. Number 3. Jet2 Holidays. Jet2 is the UK's third largest airliner company that predominantly focuses on leisure and charter flights. Looking to take a vacation? Jet2 is a great option, as they also rank third on the AirAdvisor Top 10 UK airliner list, which isn't bad when you're known for your budget ways. Their total score was a wild 60 points. In 2022, Jet2 carried out about half the passengers of British Airways, 15 million, and was our most reliable airliner overall. Add to this a top ranking in the customer reputation category, and you can see why this discount carrier ranks so high. The funny thing, though, is that Jet2 is actually the most expensive airliner we profiled, with the highest cost per seat mile. So don't always assume that low-cost airlines are cheaper. Number 2. British Airways. Most British people have probably flown with British Airways at one time or another, and with its status as the largest UK airliner in terms of fleet size and destinations, not passengers, it's good to know that British Airways is the second best airliner in the UK. In 2022, British Airways boarded over 30 million passengers, 7 times more than Virgin. But even with all these extra flights and more opportunities to things to go wrong, British Airways manages to stay ahead of most of its competitors with an overall score of 67 points overall. As the UK's flag carrier airline, British Airways stands out in the categories of lounges, comfort, travel, family travel, and professional reviews. The airline is also fairly reliable, with a decent percentage on on-time flights. And the most popular UK airliner is Virgin Atlantic. The best airliner in UK according to all encompassing AirAdvisor airline ranking is Virgin Atlantic. Unlike our research on the top 10 airliners in the United States, which we're going to look next time, in the UK, the highest rated airliner doesn't actually top many categories. What Virgin does do is score very well in most of them. In this case, it's consistency that pays off. In a somewhat surprising finding, Virgin Atlantic is the cheapest airliner in the UK and has managed to beat out all the typical low-cost carriers operating in the country. Virgin Atlantic also scores in the top 3 for comfort, reliability, professional reviews, customer reputation and family travel, and has a low percentage of delayed flights. Virgin Atlantic is a relatively small airliner where you compare to its others to the UK, but they have still managed to transport over 4 million passengers in 2022 to well over 100 exciting destinations. And in this case, it's safe to say that smaller seems to result in reliability, countless features and a welcome personal touch. When we add everything up, Virgin receives the top score of 72 points overall. Wow. Time for our bedtime bird.